Here we go. How we doing, y'all? Good, good, good. You know, this week is it's a bittersweet feeling where we're coming to an end. Training camp is winding down. No more fans in the stands screaming, yelling. Getting ready to cut down the roster from 80 to 53 as we continue to shape the roster going into the last week. A lot of potential roster spots are on the line, and I'm looking forward to it. But the sweet feeling of it all is we're only 2 weeks away from game day, week one. And I'm excited about it. These players are excited about it as we continue to build out our systems. And we'll see how it all plays out after Saturday.
Still have two punters on the roster, and they have similar stats in the preseason. Is this almost like a punt off for the job Saturday in Denver, or not?
You could say that. Yes, you could say that. It is a punt off, and both guys have been it's almost like they're carbon copies. It's weird. One guy screams down, hits an amazing punt, and the next guy, doesn't feel that pressure and follows it up with another big punt. And so you look at it, and I think both guys have been doing a great job throughout this camp. And we'll go back, check out the tape, look at the statistic that we've been compiling and putting together throughout this entire training camp, and look at it and see who the better man is. But overall, I think both guys have been doing a good job.
Holding part of that in this whole
A
thing?
lot. And that is something that we're very critical about, and it's conversations that we have with Greg because we want to know what his opinion is, because obviously there is a chemistry with him and Jordan Berry, just because they're the time on task, right? They've been doing it. They've been doing it more, and so he is comfortable with Ryan Wright as well, and so obviously we'll continue to have those conversations with Greg, and that will play a part in the final decision of who our punter will be for the 2022 season.
Your experience, will a kicker tell you that he doesn't like the guy if he doesn't like him?
Absolutely, absolutely, and we've created this relationship. I've created this relationship, and Coach BK has, with Greg, to where he can be open and honest about those type of conversations. So yes, he will be honest about that. For sure. I think we got to look at this a certain way. Obviously Amir he has all of the tools in his body of what you're looking for in a punt returner. He's elusive. He can stick his foot in the ground. He can make you miss. The decision making, we're still cleaning up. But this is a guy who hasn't had a lot of time on the job. I mean, he hasn't done it before in college. So we're asking him to come out and do something that he hasn't done. Obviously, with more reps becomes more confidence, and with more reps becomes better decision making. And so, he just needs more time on the job. And quite frankly, the time is narrowing down. But, overall, it was, if you look at the play, he went with a second-hand cover on the football. And, we're big on ball security, all about the ball. And, regardless of what type of security he did have, amazing play that number 17 made by San Francisco. But we can't lose the ball right there. It just can't happen. It just can't happen.
Is that a skill that Ty Chandler could do?
Yes and no. So the way it works is so with a punt returner, you're looking for a guy who's elusive and able to make the first man miss, a little bit more agile and not so much of a tackle breaker. Whereas a kick returner, you're looking for a guy who's more straight line, can stick his foot in the ground and be able to break tackles. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Ty Chandler cannot do it. I have to get him out here. It's a little late, to try to get him to start trying to learn how to track it and catch it. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's never actually caught a punt ever before, whereas Amir has at least practiced it in college. He just never had the opportunity to do it. So I wouldn't necessarily count Ty Chandler out as a possibility to be the punt returner. He's just a little bit behind the eight ball and doesn't necessarily have the traits of what a true punt returner is in this league.
Is it tougher to make a punt returner out of a kickoff return than vice versa?
Absolutely. It's much harder to build and create a punt returner than it is a kick returner. Obviously, the revolutions of the ball is a lot different from a punting versus kicking standpoint. I mean, it's a lot easier to catch a ball that's flipping over front with backward than it is a ball that's spiraling, coming down, and has a lot more movement on it. And so, that's a conversation that obviously has been had. We've talked about it because whenever you can put the ball in those type of players' hands, you'll love to do it. Why not? Why can't, one of the conversations, why can't Kane go back there and do it? Over Ty Chandler. So, those are conversations that are be had. And obviously we look at the skill sets of every individual on the team and we kind of pick out who we believe is the best person to do it.
Is the last preseason game different for a special teams coordinator as opposed to offense and defense? Because you're looking at your frontline guys.
Oh, absolutely. And you just kind of look at it. Obviously, as the cut downs happen, you have less bodies, and with us resting all the starters plus some. I mean, you go from working with a pool of 40 guys to working with a pool of 20 guys, but those 20 guys are also going to be playing on offense and defense, and so the amount of snaps that they're going to have is going to be a lot more. But it's another opportunity, and the final opportunity for us to be able to evaluate these what we consider to be bubble guys who are truly looking to make their impact on the game and make this roster. So you definitely look at this last preseason game as a true determining factor on who makes it and who doesn't.
Who are some of those bubble guys for special teams that really got to step up for you?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at a lot of guys. I won't specifically name anyone, but, you can look at the corner position, the receiver position, the linebacker position, outside linebacker position. I mean, if we be honest, it's almost all of the positions on the football team who, we're very critical of and who we're looking at, to see, who's the guy that's going to step up and basically shine, when the lights are out. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Coach.